Arsenal have now received a huge boost in their pursuit of Brentford striker Ivan Toney ahead of the January transfer window. And Fabrizio Romano says a significant offer could snatch a star from Arsenal in the upcoming transfer window. Watch until the end to grasp all the details. But before that, if you're also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to the channel now and stay updated on everything happening behind the scenes of the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's get into today's news. Arsenal have now received a huge boost in their pursuit of Brentford striker Ivan Toney ahead of the January transfer window. Ivan Toney has been on Arsenal's radar for a while now, but people have always felt it would be an expensive deal to pull off in January. The Evening Standard claimed last month that Brentford have slapped an £80 million price tag on Toney, while Sky Sports reported that the Bees want £100 million for their star striker. Those figures made us believe that a move in January would be extremely unlikely, but Football Transfers have revealed today that Arsenal can get him for a much smaller fee. The outlet claims that Brentford would be happy to sell Toney to Arsenal for as low as £55 million next month, but on one condition: the Gunners will have to pay that sum in one go. The Bees are also said to be happy to offer Arsenal the chance to pay for Toney over a number of instalments, but the overall sum is likely to go up in that case. Toney, who has been banned from football for breaching betting rules, will enter the final 18 months of his Brentford contract at the turn of the year. Declan Rice thinks Ivan Toney is similar to Harry Kane. Harry Kane was once a part of Arsenal's youth setup. He joined Tottenham Hotspur after we released him, and he went on to become one of the best strikers in Premier League history. Ivan Toney isn't quite on Kane's level, but Declan Rice thinks the two strikers share certain similarities that make the Brentford man a brilliant player. Speaking to TalkSport back in September last year, Rice said, "I think from the moment Toney, stepped in the Premier League, he's taken it by storm. If you look at what he does for Brentford, how consistent he is, and what he does for his team, he's fully deserving of a call-up. He's kind of like Harry Kane in a way where he's not only an out-and-out striker, he's a playmaker as well. His left and right-footed passing, the way he picks out his teammates is a special technique to have. I'm looking forward to playing with him." Fabrizio Romano says important bid may change Arsenal star's situation in January. There has been increased speculation over the future of Arsenal striker Nketiah in recent days, as he has been linked with a January exit. Nketiah has found himself playing an important role this season, as Gabriel Jesus began the campaign injured, and is Arsenal's joint top Premier League scorer with 5 strikes so far. However, he has come in for some criticism, and has rarely started since Jesus returned. He was recently linked with Crystal Palace and Brentford, but Mikel Arteta is seemingly keen on keeping the player. Fabrizio Romano has now revealed what Arsenal's stance over Nketiah is, as the club head into the January transfer window. Fabrizio Romano reveals Arsenal's stance over Nketiah. In his daily briefing, Romano claimed that whilst Arsenal are eager to keep hold of the Hale End graduate, a significant offer could change their mind during the winter window. There is speculation again about Nketiah's future at Arsenal. Interest has always been there from 5 to 6 Premier League clubs, and I'm told also Bundesliga clubs. It's normal as Eddie is a very good striker, he stated. But Arsenal are still happy with Nketiah. There are currently no concrete or advanced negotiations. I think it could only change with a very important proposal, but at this stage, Arsenal are not desperate to sell Nketiah at all. What price could convince Arsenal to sell Nketiah? Arsenal need all the depth they can get as they aim to compete for the Premier League title and Champions League this season, and Nketiah would need replacing if he was to leave. Given that transfer targets Ivan Toney and Viktor Gyökeres would come with likely price tags of over £60 million, with Gyökeres set to cost £86 million, it would take a major outlay for Arsenal to try and upgrade on the 24-year-old in the middle of the season. Folarin Balogun departed in the summer for an initial fee of around £26 million, and given Nketiah's much higher importance within the squad, Arsenal may end up asking for a fee north of £40 million to even consider an offer. The most likely scenario appears to be Nketiah staying, given that interested parties such as Crystal Palace may not afford such a high fee, but with the striker recently earning praise following a goal and assist in his last 2 games, he will still be an important option for Arteta if he remains at the Emirates beyond January. Ian Wright predicts who is going to win this weekend. Ahead of a huge game in the Premier League this weekend between Liverpool and Arsenal, Ian Wright has now been sharing his prediction. It's not often a top-of-the-table clash doesn't involve Manchester City, but both Liverpool and Arsenal are the front-runners so far this season. And if they're being honest, both teams would probably rather not face each other right now. That being said, Ian Wright and Jamie Carragher have now been debating Arsenal's chances of getting a result on Saturday. Mikel Arteta's side suffered something of a destabilising loss at Anfield last season, one that severely injured their title push. And although Wright was confident of Arsenal's chances, Carragher was quick to remind about what happened at Liverpool last time out. Speaking on that Stick to Football podcast, Wright said, "I think we will beat them." Carragher replied, "This is where Arsenal lost the league last year. This is where it all started, that 2-0 lead." Ian Wright, "As Man United fans, you lot should not be making any jokes about football right now. I'm going to go Arsenal. I believe what you said there about last season and the wheels starting to shake, that has got to count for something for this team. I'm going to go 2-1 for us." Ian Wright believes Arsenal can grab huge win against Liverpool on Saturday. Whilst Arsenal fans will protest that they're a better side than this time last year, Liverpool fans will probably say the same about their team. The addition of Declan Rice has been transformative for Arteta's side, perhaps their most important signing of the last decade. Similarly, Jurgen Klopp's team have been strengthened by the likes of Dominik Szoboszlai. It's going to be a fascinating watch, however. Perhaps more importantly for Liverpool, their squad just isn't being ravaged by the same amount of injuries this season. Despite Andy Robertson still being out, the side have a much healthier playing staff this year, and it's making a difference. It's a bold call for Ian Wright to predict any side to win away at Liverpool, but he clearly believes in the trajectory of this Arsenal team. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.